communities have a real need for Christian activities. And in a small town, the number of workers is equally small. And so over a period of time, the people who can do the jobs may get real burnt out, or they may be off having to do something else, like earn a living. And if you only start off with a handful of people, then the handful gets far greater. So in 2009, we brought back VBS, and it was a rare opportunity that summer when there were some people unemployed who were new, and we were able to put together a VBS and conduct it with just the resources of the church, and it worked out well. But we knew that we probably wouldn't be able to do that again. That God willing, that employment would return, and then we would be once again faced with the issue of how do you do a competent VBS with a very small category of people. And so the thought was, gosh, Maine is a beautiful place. It could be a place where youth are called to be doing jobs, to be able to help proclaim, not unlike Jessica.
As Jessica is, right.
And so it could be sort of a two-foot person. One, that the team could be able to come up and do something that they were called to do, and be able to do something they wouldn't normally do in the course of being in their homes, and challenged in other ways. And at the same time, they could provide an invaluable service to the community. And so that's what's happened, that the teams have come up and they have done those things. The church would not be able to conduct Vacation Bible School if the Spotsylvania team didn't come. And so we've been able to do this now for 4 years. That is thanks to God's grace and the team from Spotsylvania. Beyond the work of Vacation Bible School, just the mere presence of a team with high energy has a profound effect. It has a profound effect certainly in the church. The church is enthused, so even if people aren't here during the course of the week, the church members are enthused by seeing the preparations and by coming to the Friday evening closing exercises and seeing the kids around doing work. So we have across the street Vernon and Charlotte, and Vernon and Charlotte are 92 years old, and they have been part of this church forever. Vernon was born in that house, and they have led the church and been important contributors to the church. And so they are pleased as punch to be able to see what's going on. And although they can't be here and participate as they used to, they take great pleasure. And so Brad and Lyle, for example, have gone over and met with them and spent long periods this week talking to them and have seen that. So that's something else that the team brings with them.
Some of the things that have been accomplished, obviously this year the food bank was a big thing, but there's also the pavilion comes to mind.
The first year in 2009, we began this current series of VBSs. We got rained on heavily in the summer, and so the church thought we could put the resources together to put a pavilion out, and so we did. By the grace of God, we've not been rained out of every VBS since, so we've been able to use a pavilion for other things. Last year, the team put together tables and chairs, tables and benches, and so that's been important and helpful for the church to use in a variety of ways. It stands, the pavilion and the use of the pavilion, the use of the parking lot, everything that happens stands as a statement to the community that the work of God is being done in the church. The church is a place that benefits the community because that's what the church should be doing.
And the importance of firewood in Maine.
Oh, absolutely. So we all burn firewood because the ground is covered with firewood. And so if you want to be able to reduce your expenditures and not have to pay BP or pick your petroleum company for oil or gas, then you need firewood. And so we all have stoves or wood furnaces. And it takes about 5 or 6 cord of wood. The cord's 4 by 4 by 8 in volume. That would be 4 feet by 4 feet by 8 feet of stacked wood. It takes about 5 to 6 cord to be able to get a house through the winter, assuming that house is relatively well insulated. Because when the temperature gets to minus 25, it begins to get your attention. And you want to make sure the fire stays stoked. So each year we've helped at least one family put wood in. And so this year, for example, we worked with a guy who had become somewhat handicapped because he'd been out doing some chores and he flipped his ATV on top of himself. And he was handicapped to begin with, disabled, And now he is going to sell his ATV because he can't get back on it and ride it. But he's got 6 cord of wood he needed to get in. The team moved 6 cord of wood this week and stacked it in his basement next to his wood furnace. So we can just chuck it into the furnace to stay warm. So it's important.